It's time for Quarantine Cabaret and Cocktails with Robert Bannon and Lee Lessick.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Lee. Happy Thursday. How are you?
We made it another week.
Another week. I think this is the fifth one.
Can you imagine?
We have
That's
had,
crazy.
That is great. Time is flying by. How are you doing?
I am hanging in there. I survived an air conditioning pipe explosion. I am still surviving the rat that is in my kitchen. I know.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Look, it could be worse.
It could be a bear. How could it be worse?
Yeah, but what's funny is what you don't know is behind the scenes, Lee has sent me pictures. Like, this is like the most hungry rat ever. It eats plastic wood. It's eating.
I know.
You're brave, Lee.
And I'm working with a brilliant pest control company, but
You're brave. You're brave.
They're stumped.
It's a very.
They're kind of excited by the process, but let's not talk about rats because I don't think it's good for ratings. Number one.
People don't want to tune in to watch us talk about rats? What else is there to talk about? I told Lee that the next door they were cutting hair in the driveway. I don't know if that's legal. I don't know if that's legal. I did not partake, as you can tell, but it was really tempting, Lee. I need to do my hair like you. You just go for it.
I have taken to the razor, and I don't care. I just
it's the way to go.
Right?
It's the way to go.
Well, in quarantine, everything annoys you. Well, at least everything annoys me.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Mark. Everything annoys me, and so my hair annoys me, and so every week I'm just like, whoop.
Well, good news on my end. My really dear friend, my friend Adrian, got engaged in quarantine. So she watches every week. So congrats, A and John, for your quarantine.
Hey, that's so great! Congratulations.
And I was like, what a way to start a relationship than being stuck together in quarantine.
I'm telling you, if you can make it through this,
you're good.
Trust me,
all uphill from
it's all good.
All good for
me.
And
today is my nephew Max's 17th birthday, so happy birthday, Max.
Happy birthday, Max.
Yeah.
Oh, to be 17 again, Lee.
And moving on. So, a couple weeks ago, I started this In Good Company reunion series where I am reintroducing the duets project that I did 15 years ago that Johnny Rogers, who was our guest last week, co-produced with me. So proud of this project. And last week, we actually featured Susan Werner's duet, and she's going to be on our show in a little bit. And this week, we are re-releasing the duet of For Good from the musical Wicked that I performed with Stephen Schwartz, who composed it, which was a huge honor.
No big deal, just Stephen Schwartz.
Well, the thing is the song, I asked him if he would do a duet, and he said yes. And I asked him, what would you like to do? And he suggested, well, how about For Good? Now, the show had just opened, so the song had never been recorded before. Maybe the cast recording was out. I don't even know that. Maybe it wasn't. But it certainly had not been recorded by two men. And I was so honored that he suggested that. And it was a beautiful moment. He's been a huge, iconic supporter of mine through my career. And I was telling him that through my childhood, I would seek comfort listening to the cast recordings of Godspell and Pippin, and because nobody else understood me, you know what I mean?
Godspell is brilliant. It's gorgeous.
And then as an adult to meet him, and then become friends with him has been just lovely. He's such a amazing human. And anyway, so tomorrow is when we release this video, but because you're here, you get to see it first.
Front row.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Right. So here's me and Stephen Schwartz, and talking about our duet For Good.
I've heard it said.
Hey, Stephen, it's great to see you.
Hey, you too, Lee.
It was a great honor and privilege to not only get to record with you, but to get to record the song For Good.
Well, For Good was one of the songs that I wrote last for the show because I knew it was such a key moment, which is between Elphaba and Glinda, sort of expressing what each had meant to the other, was basically the heart of the show. And I finally felt ready, called Winnie Holtzman, my collaborator, and at one point Winnie said to me, well, you know, they're so important to one another, they've really changed each other for good, and I stopped. I'm hanging up. That's the title of the song. And it so happened that my daughter, Jessica, was up visiting at my house in Connecticut where I write. So I went to her because she has a friend, and their friendship has been sort of up and down over the years. There was a point when they were angry at each other and not speaking, but they've also helped out each other in times of trouble and just remained very close friends. Okay, I want you to imagine that you're never going to see Sarah again, and you have one chance to tell her what she has meant to you. What would you say? And Jess basically talked, and I wrote these things down, and she said, you know, I think people come into our lives for a reason. And, you know, she said a lot of things that then basically became the first verse of the song.
I think it was the first time that it was recorded as a male duet, which I love.
Yeah, back then when we did it, it hadn't been recorded all that much, actually, because the show had only just opened, and I hadn't gotten to sing it in a performance yet, so this was my opportunity. And yes, I know for sure that it was the first time. When we did this, though, 15 years ago, it was unusual for two men to sing what's kind of a love song, though it's a friendship love song as opposed to a romantic love song, but it's still a love song. And you know, now that's much more commonplace, but I thought it was more daring at the time, and I thought it was daring of you to do it.
And people respond to this song so deeply. I mean, because I think everybody can relate. Everybody has their own story that parallels. I don't think I really thought of it any different in terms of singing it with a male as opposed to women or male, female, because to me it was just very honest, because as a lot of us artistic boys experienced, I had, you know, I was bullied a lot as a kid and whatnot, and so I would seek refuge in my Broadway cast recordings. And so it wasn't just that Pippin was the first musical I saw, but between Pippin and Godspell, this is where I went for comfort because nobody else understood me. Then meeting you and you being so warm and so generous, quickly became friends, and you always kept in touch and took this sort of icon that helped me through a lot of dark times in my life and then became my friend. And so, you know, the lyrics to me just, you know, made perfect sense, because you definitely have changed my life for the better, as you have so many.
Thank you, and thanks for re-releasing this album that I hold so fondly. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Me too. Take care and stay safe.
You too.
I love that.
He's such a sweet man.
I love
He's the nicest. He's the best. What are you eating? You always come back with a snack after our first video. Are those grapes? They're very oblong-ish grapes.
They're finger grapes.
I'm concerned.
I
have grapes too.
Yours are nice and crushed and delicious. I love that song and I love that show. And Stephen Schwartz is brilliant. And the fact that he stopped dusting his Oscar and his Grammys and his Tonys and his Emmys to sit down and talk is amazing.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best.
Beautiful.
What can I say?
It's a beautiful duet. You guys do a beautiful job.
Thank you. Well, tomorrow all the links will be up where you can stream the song, or you can find it, I'm sure, on your own tonight. But I can't change the link in my bio until after our show. It's a process.
Yes, I understand.
So our first guest tonight, pardon?
One thing at a time, Lee. You have too many projects.
I know, really.
going.
One thing at a time. Don't go too fast. So our first guest tonight is a wonderful artist. He is from Wexford, Ireland. He's like a national treasure in Ireland. He was the original tenor in Riverdance on Broadway. And I think before he did that, I think he was like a nurse or something. I think he was not in show business. He'll tell us. It's an interesting story. I should know because he's a really good friend, but I don't remember the exact timeline. But anyway, let's welcome Michael Londra. Hey, Michael.
How are you? Cheers.
We're
Hi,
good.
Michael.
How are you?
Cheers.
I'm good. My head is totally wrecked because I'm on the screen just after Stephen Schwartz, and now I'm feeling the pressure.
Oh, no. Please. It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm delighted. I've been watching, guys, so
Have
I'm
you?
delighted to be part of it. Yeah. What's not to love? Quarantine and cocktails.
How are things in Iowa? You're in Iowa now.
Yeah, I live in Iowa. I live in Ames, Iowa. You know, it's the same as anywhere else. People are just hunkering down. You know, I guess we kind of semi-opened up last weekend, but things pretty much stayed the same. People just stayed home. The businesses that opened really didn't get that much business. So, yeah, it's really nice. Look, the weather's nice. It's like in the 70s. We're sitting out in the garden in the evenings, playing with the dogs and drinking rosé, not necessarily in that order. And, you know, life is good.
I'm drinking a lovely rosé that was bottled by Bon Jovi. Not to drop names. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Hampton's Water.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
The Hamptons has some good, Long Island has some good rosé.
It's Hampton water, singular, because in the Hamptons, you know, they drink rosé like it's water.
We love celebrity wine.
So do I.
I know, random. And Bon Jovi and his son created this, and it's from the south of France, and it's very good.
The best kind of rosé from Provence.
Absolutely. That's the truth.
So, for our audience members that may not know who you are, you have created you have a new special that's coming out called Ireland with Michael, which combines it's sort of like a tour through Ireland with the most gorgeous video and photography of the landscape, and Michael interviewing people and talking to people and also singing, and it's becoming a live concert as well, which I'm excited about. So I'm going to show a little clip just so people can see how brilliant you are, and then we'll make you blush and talk about you more.
Grand.
Love is handsome and love is kind, and love's a jewel when first is new, but when it's all the love grows cold, it fades away like morning. Every heart will carry too, and both shall rule. My love and I, and both shall rule. My love and Thanks very much.
My goodness, that
So beautiful.
voice is gorgeous.
Oh my God.
Very much.
Gorgeous.
That was filmed in the National Opera House back in Ireland. You know, the show is kind of a mix of performances. I obviously, like yourselves, I know a lot of the best performers that come out of Ireland, and for the past few years, I just spent so much time traveling home that I decided to kind of mix it all together. My friends lovingly call the show Drunk Rick Steves, which is probably kind of the truth. It's essentially a travel show with music, and we get all of these great artists to kind of be the hosts in various parts of Ireland, and I get to go home and stay with my family and friends and drink pints of Guinness and just have a good time. I love it. It's the most fun project I've done for a long time, and it won't come out until probably the end of the year on PBS, but it'll air probably everywhere you can watch a PBS station.
Wow. Now remind us, because I'm sure I messed up the story. Before Riverdance, what were you doing?
So I'm an RN. I'm a nurse.
I knew it.
Yeah. So I worked as an RN for a while. I did a postgrad in dealing with people who presented with mental health issues and with violent behavior. So I became a behavior therapist. And I actually didn't have my first gig as a singer until I was 31.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a really kind of random gig in that I went on stage in a theatre in Dublin to audition for a group of people I had no idea were there. And there was all of these Broadway producers, and they were producing there was 13 Tonys in the audition room, and I had no clue. And I auditioned, I sang Being Alive without really having an idea how to sing Being Alive. And luckily I got the part. It was a musical in Ireland about JFK that was destined for Broadway. Big time producers were involved, including the Jacobs and Stuart Lane. And I got the part, and the show wasn't so great. I was playing Bobby Kennedy, but luckily on opening night, the writer of Riverdance was at opening night and heard me sing. And the day that I closed, he offered me the gig of being the lead singer. And I really took the job just so I could get to New York and to get the visa. And it ended up being obviously a huge opportunity to sing on Broadway in the Gershwin Theatre for 18 months. And I kind of learned how to be a singer in the Gershwin on Broadway. And once I left, then I kind of started to do what I really wanted to do, which was write songs and tour with a band and produce other artists and musicals. And that's what I've done for the past 20 years now.
Wow.
Goodness, that's an amazing.
It's a great story.
Yeah, totally random.
I know that you have other shows. You toured a show called Celtic Fire. You have a Christmas show that toured called Celtic Yuletide. When you think about these Irish songs, I know there's so much history in Irish music. Do you have memories? When did you start singing? When did you learn all of these classic Irish songs?
So where I come from, the town is kind of the singing capital of Ireland. We have a very famous opera festival there called Wexford Festival Opera, which is known all around the world. So for 3 months of the year, all of the biggest opera stars in the world will come to our little town, which has only got 15,000 people. but it holds the National Opera House. I would hear all of this amazing singing, and I was hugely influenced from the classical side. But then my mother had 11 brothers and sisters.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and they all sang. And so I had no choice. So my earliest memory would be 5 or so, standing in front of my granny singing those songs that I still sing in my shows. And really, I had no choice. There's a culture in Ireland where it's kind of infused into you, whether you wanted it or not. So, yeah.
Wow. And how are you holding up with this whole quarantine thing?
Well, my biggest problem, actually, things are nice here in Ames, you know. I'm here with my partner, Mark, who works in Iowa State in the university there. And we because I've toured as an artist for like 20 years, this is the first time we've actually been in the same house longer than a week. And it's working out really nice. I get to walk with my 2 dogs and have fun with them. And I'm very homesick. I go to Ireland maybe 5 or 6 times a year. So now I'm really kind of itching to go there. And we've just finished filming Ireland with Michael. So I'm kind of eyeing the end of July, early August. There's still isolation once you land in Dublin. So hopefully we're working with Tourism Ireland at the moment. And we think it's going to be doable. He said,
right.
Optimistically.
Hope. Fingers crossed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. Well, it's good to see you. I talk to you all the time, but I don't get to see you.
We talk a lot. Lee, you know, has been not only like a support professionally, but he has been an ear for me moaning for a long time. And I love him dearly. So yeah. I'm delighted to be on this show. It's fun, especially with Susan Werner and Stephen Schwartz. Holy moly.
Yeah. Well, I love you right back.
And Michael Londra.
And we've been very busy here in my office. And when I say me, I mean the royal we, because it's just me. Rebooking, rescheduling all your dates that were canceled.
Yeah.
But I think we've saved most of them. So that's good.
It's amazing. I'm optimistic, you know. In a way, it's kind of made me kind of stand and look at my career and say, okay, what do I want to do next? And while I love touring with my band and I miss my band, that will happen again, and we'll get out there again. But you know, we have this time, and we need to kind of do something with it. And so I'm enjoying doing that.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
It was a thrill. It was an excuse to drink wine on a school night. So.
You need an excuse?
I was going to say, is there an excuse?
You just have to text me and I'll text you permission. Okay?
Okay, bud.
That's the new normal.
It really is.
Love you.
I love you right back. Bye, guys.
Thank
you so much. Thanks, Robert. Bye, Lee.
What a voice. Holy moly.
Oh my God. I know. Oh, nurse. Like literally.
Insane.
Oh my God. All right. I'm so excited about our next guest. We'll get into all things Susan Werner when we talk to her, but I just want to play you a music video. She recently, before this whole pandemic, went to Cuba, to Havana, and recorded an album there, as you do.
Yep.
And this was the single that they released, which I love. And for anybody that doesn't know who Susan Werner is, this will give you a taste of Susan Werner.
Oh yeah. So you brought along your girlfriend, your kind of pretty crazy girlfriend. What the hell were you thinking? She never stops drinking, she talks all the time. And now you're running out of money. Yeah, you've been running through the money. You don't know where it all went, and right now you just spent your very last dime. 1955 Chevy Bel Air and you're cruising the Malecon, oh, all your troubles are gone. When you're in a 1955 Chevy Bel Air and you're cruising La Petite Place, oh, world's a wonderful place. Yes, it is. And you're driving with the top down. You're in the sunshine with the top down. Yeah, you're rolling in a carriage that is the perfect marriage of vinyl and chrome. You got the white walls and the tail fans, the two-tone color and the tail fins. Salsa on the AM station. Why end this vacation? Why ever go home? 'Cause when you're in a 1955 Chevy Bel Air and you're cruising the Malecon, oh, all your troubles are gone. When you're in a 1955 Chevy Bel Air and you're cruising La Petite Place, oh, world's a wonderful place. As you roll past La Zora y el Cuervo, you'll smile and let every last care go, floating away on the music in your ears. As you roll past La Melia Coiba, your girlfriend gets out and says, see ya. Yeah, she's over it, she's had enough. You don't care because now you're in love with a Chevrolet. Hey! When you're in a 1955 Chevy Bel Air and you're cruising the Malecon, oh, all your troubles are gone. When you're in a 1955 Chevy Bel Air and you're cruising La Petite Place, oh, world's a wonderful place. When you're in a 1955 Chevy Bel Air, when you're in a 1955 Chevy Bel Air, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I was
Oh
dancing
my
right
God.
with you.
Susan Werner, I just want to go to Cuba with you. That's all I'm saying.
Everywhere is fun. Everywhere is fun. But I was actually enjoying hearing that because I remembered, oh, the timbales are in the right ear, the conga's up in the left ear, like the whole magic of the Cuban rhythm section. It's just, it's like catnip for musicians. So it was such a delight to do that Cuban project. And I enjoyed, by the way, hearing Michael Londra and hearing him sing. If he's like the drunk Rick Steves, I'm like the drunk Ellen DeGeneres or something. Boy, I loved meeting him and hearing him. That was awesome.
Oh, I love it. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really great. I mean, I'm frustrated, aggravated, bored, horny like the rest of us, but honestly, right?
I think
It's
you
like
summed it up.
we're getting through it. If we have our health, we're getting through it. But I am feeling like, we're all we're pent up, right? We want to get out of our space. I was homesick for Iowa when Michael was talking. My folks are out there and I have a lot of family out there and I'm in Philadelphia, and it just feels, with each week, it just feels like the country gets bigger and further apart. Like it feels like it's going to take more effort to get to some place that used to be, half a day.
Yeah. I love this because Robert didn't know who you were. He had never experienced you. And I was so excited last week because I got to share my musical experience of you from your first album that I experienced, Last of the Good Street Girls, onward. And he would listen, and then he would the next day report to me his experience. And it was because I so vividly remember when I first discovered you, performing live at the Virgin Megastore on Sunset and Laurel and Crescent Heights.
Yes, in LA. And I wasn't a virgin and neither were you, but they let us in anyway. And yeah, I think, did I have a piano with me and I played a piano number from the record? Did I?
I don't remember if you had a piano. I think you were playing guitar. I think you were playing guitar. But I just remember like hearing you, and I had no idea who you were. I was there to see a movie, and I got there early, so I went to the record store. And I just remember hearing this voice, and the album is they're all story songs. It's sort of like folk pop country-ish. I don't know.
With musical theater thrown
Yeah,
in
it's not
there.
really country. I shouldn't have said country because that's
No,
not really country.
but it's storytelling and
Yes.
musical theater, but in
Yes.
these different
Yes.
genres of song. And even that song, 1955 Chevy Bel Air, it starts out with this character who brings along their girlfriend. And by the end of the song, basically they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's musical theater that shows a progression through the
Right.
3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. It starts in one place psychologically and winds up somewhere
Right.
else. So
I listened to you and I thought, this is like a voice that could be on Broadway. This is a voice that can sing anything. There's such a purity and an honesty to your work that just really touched me. And so I bought your album that day, and
thank you for your business.
yeah, right. And then a few years later, I was working on an album to record, and I wanted to record your song called Much at All. And I licensed it. I paid for it.
I think you paid like $92 or something, right? Wasn't
Whatever.
that mechanical royalties at the time? Yeah.
Whatever.
Again, I appreciate your
licensed it.
business. Yeah.
And I sent a copy of the finished album, with a note to your record label. That was in 97, I think.
I got that note. They sent that to me.
But then I heard from you in 2004, 7 years later, because you had moved from Philadelphia to Chicago, and we have a mutual friend, Dan Stetzel.
Yes.
Who's a wonderful musical director and teaches at Roosevelt University. And
I thought you were going to say we have a mutual friend, which is your mother. And I'm a big fan of your mother. And tell her
she's a big fan of yours.
Tell her I said Happy Mother's Day.
I will. She'll be excited. We talk about my mother every week on the show.
She's a character. She's larger than life.
She is larger than life.
You should have her on here. You should just get on with it.
That's what I said.
Today, my mother and I had an entire training lesson on the Apple iPad Pencil.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Yes, you can imagine. So I've been drinking for hours.
Hey, I got the memo, by the way. Rosé.
Yes,
Everyone's happy.
Rosé.
There was no memo, but everyone wound up drinking rosé today. Yes. And I think it's just the time of year. May is like flowers, fruity. Here we go, fruity, right? Yes. Yeah, yummy.
It's perfect. So anyway, you emailed me. Dan gave you a copy of my album, and you emailed me and thanked me for recording your song, which meant the world to me. But like literally, you would have thought that like Oprah was at my door. I was so excited because I so treasured the musical experience that you provided for me for years before that. So
well, thank you for saying that. But that makes me a little like drunk Oprah.
That's it.
Right. So that's another.
Well, number one, there's nothing wrong with that. Number two, I hear that Oprah is very fond of her tequila. So.
Oh, that's news.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so you emailed me to thank me, and I was just starting to work on this duets album, and that's when I was like, by the by, would you be open to doing this? And The
That
rest
was
is
a thrill.
history.
You can't even know what a thrill that was. I mean, I had never met Stephen Schwartz. I got to talk to him that day, and then I had lunch with him a couple of years later to talk about a project I was working on. And he's so generous. He really is a generous, warm person. And then I met Ann Hampton Callaway at that event too.
That's right.
Man, and Johnny Rogers, who I've done some shows with, and man, that was just a really, really special event, and not only an artistic event and ambitious, so ambitious. And I just, man, that's it, right? What do they say? Fortune favors the bold. Man, you bold. You're like, let's do this at the Ford Theater. Oh my God.
I know.
It was thrilling. And also, you have the Rolodex of the gods. I mean, you know all of these people and are connected to them and connect with them at their deepest and most artistic and sensitive and real selves. It's really a credit that you know all these people in this way.
Wow, that's very sweet. Do you remember what you said to me that night? You might not, and I'll remind you if you didn't. It's no pressure.
Did I hit
But-
on you?
I wish.
Oh, okay.
No, you came up to Mark and I after the show because we reproduced this duets album live at the Ford Amphitheater. We did it. It was right after the tsunami, so we did it as a fundraiser for Operation USA. And anyway, it was a very produced, expensive event. My co-producer Rob O'Neill, was so incredible. I mean, was so incredible. And you came up to Mark and I think at the after party, and you said to us, "God, are you guys married?" And we were like, "No." I mean, we've been together 28 years now. Next month, 28 years. We don't want to rush into anything. But anyway, you were like, "Are you guys married?" And we were like, "No." And you were like, "Well, this is your wedding."
Did I really say that?
You did. And we talk about that and we think about that today. Like, yeah.
Well, that's tone deaf because of me to say, because Mark didn't get to sing or dance at his own wedding, if that was his wedding.
Well, thank God.
He's from Decorah, Iowa. Nobody from there can really.
He has sung once in public.
Yeah.
Once in public. A mutual friend of ours had a Barbra Streisand birthday party, and you had to come and perform a Barbra Streisand song.
Whoa.
And, Mark is a huge Nancy Sinatra fan. Huge.
Okay. Boots were made for walking.
But she recorded Who Will Buy.
How's that go? Who will buy this la 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 la?
Yep. And with the Hullabaloo Dancers, it was on her 1968 Emmy Award-winning special, Moving with Nancy. And Barbara also recorded that song. So he performed this song at a party. I was shocked.
Wait, bring him out.
I don't know where he is. He's not. I don't know where he is.
This is the moment to recreate this. This is a great moment. Bring him out.
He's like walking the dogs.
Bring him out.
I'll text him. Would that be wild? He would die. Let's see.
Tonight's the night.
Susan, I did listen to your whole anthology. I love the Good Straight Girls. I love the Nola album.
Oh, thanks. That's last year's thing. Yeah.
And your storytelling, like to talk about it as an acting piece, like your storytelling, like to literally hear the characters through the journey is really beautiful. What is your songwriting process like? How do you write all of these characters and these ideas?
Hey, thank you for asking that. It is at some point I figured out, I'm trying to think who somebody said something about if we live our lives as ourselves, we only live one life, but if we read novels or we write, then we can live many lives through the characters that we spend time with. And in songs, I can be all kinds of things. All of us can be all kinds of things. There's a murder ballad on this, the New Orleans record, where this woman falls in love with this guy because she loves his accent, his New Orleans accent so much. And she says, "You could talk me into anything." And basically he does. And they throw his wife in the Pontchartrain. And also the first tune is a character in New Orleans who's talking about, hey, welcome to New Orleans. We got stuff down here, get you from below. Like,
Oh, wow.
the water will get you, right? But also like a hurricane at Pat O'Brien's. You drink a couple of those, you'll be laying on the sidewalk.
That's true.
So characters
May
can
have done
say
that.
things.
May have done that.
You might have experienced that firsthand, huh? Yeah. Yeah. So characters, right? We can do a lot of things through characters as singers, as interpreters. That's part of the fun of being a cabaret artist, I think, is that you get to
Right.
step into a mindset for 3 minutes
Yeah.
and 30 seconds at a time instead of having to put on, oh my God, the costume and the makeup and everything. You just go for 3 minutes and 30 seconds and bring a room full of people with you. It's
Yeah.
an art form, and it's a high art form. I mean, you could be high while you're doing it, but you get my point.
Well, when we did our this album, you're the only songwriter that has 2 songs represented on this project. And it's one of the artists, when I own a record label now for 25 years called LML Music. And we have released and distributed recordings for, I don't know, 150 artists probably over the last 25 years. And I never looked to LML Music, the label, to pay my mortgage. Thank God. But I've looked at it as a garden to nurture and grow independent artists, which is exactly what it has done for years. And it's a joy. It's a joy. And so it was the 10th anniversary of the label, and that's when I decided to do this project in good company. And as a businessman, I thought, what can I do to sell a few more copies than my last 3 albums? And I thought, well, I'll ask artists that are more famous than me, which is a wide open playing field.
I know the feeling.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I did. And what was crazy is I reached out to all these people. Some I knew, some I didn't know. I mean, I reached out to Maureen McGovern, who I'd never spoke to in my life. And she was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Is that it? Is that it? There's got to be a
Yeah.
morning after. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I reached out to Michael Feinstein. I reached out to Steven Schwartz. I reached out to you when you emailed me. I mean, the timing of you emailing me was so fortuitous. So I created this project, and there were a few singer-songwriters, Steven, Amanda McBroom. We did a version of The Rose. Anne Hampton Callaway, we did one of her original songs. And I think the only other you, of course, I think that was it. And one of the artists that I asked to do this project was Michael Feinstein. And he said yes right away. And he said, what do you want to sing? And I thought, a lot of the songs we were doing were love songs and whatnot. I didn't know, at that time, I don't know how openly out he was. Now he's married and whatever. Anyway, and so we did another song of yours called May I Suggest, which is an anthem of hope and love and spirit and perfection. And it really was perfect. It really just was the perfect ending note of this album. And I think many people have now recorded it, but I'd love to end our show tonight with you performing it live.
Of course, and thank you. And as you are an ambassador for cabaret performers, Michael's really an ambassador for songs, well-written songs. And he's been really super kind to me over the years. And it is a beautiful recording of you and him together. And That song, yeah, I'll sing it. I hope you guys can hear me okay. We'll do this.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life? May I suggest this time is blessed for you, this time is blessed and shining almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the thousand reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I'd suggest to you, why I'd suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. It's a secret world, like a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A tender lover's smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. And I suggest, yes, I suggest to you, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you. It's the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. And this is the faith that they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than was done before. And inside you know, inside you understand, inside you know what's yours to finally set right. And I suggest to you, I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. This is a song with a request of you, to see how very short these endless days will run. And when they're gone and when the dark descends, oh, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. And I suggest this is the best part of, the very best part of your life.
Wow.
Oh, that gorgeous.
So beautiful.
Song is
Oh
beautiful.
my God.
Thank you. I should have got in there though. Right? Da-da-da-da. Have you ever done something with Melissa Manchester?
I haven't. I've
Right?
booked her for shows, but I haven't performed with
Come
her.
on, there's got to be a duet, right? Come
I
on.
love
Baby
her.
cried the day the circus
circus.
came to town. Oh my God.
Well, you
come
know,
on.
years ago, like before you and I met, they were some organization was doing a tribute to Carol Bayer Sager, and I don't know how, but I got asked to perform, and I did a new version of "Don't Cry Out Loud," and for Carol, which was
Come on, let's do
crazy.
it. What's your key? Just start.
Oh, I couldn't. I literally,
Come on.
literally,
Just 10
I
seconds.
can't remember past Tuesday, so this is not happening. But I know. I wish I could, but I can't. I cannot. That no.
Susan,
But anyway,
what's next, Susan? When you're free, like, do you?
what's happening with? Can I ask about your Broadway show or
Oh
no?
my God. Yeah. So Bull Durham, the musical, based on the MGM film, right, of the same name from 1986. So that's been in development for a little while, and it looks now like it's going to be a national tour, which runs around the country and then goes back to New York.
I'm ready, Susan. I'm
I'm
ready.
Thank you. I'm excited too. I'm ready, and I think a lot of people are missing musical theater, but also baseball. Everyone, I mean, it's kind of the right
Yeah.
time as soon as we get the magic, vaccine, as soon as we get the magic, I mean, people are ready to be shoulder to shoulder and sing and have fun and dance. And this is a big, fun, all-American musical. So I look forward to it seeing the light of day. Signs are good. Signs are good. Signs are
Yay.
good. First, we got to get the old vaccine.
Right. Well, it's so good to see you.
It's great to
I
see
adore
both of
you.
you guys. Thank you, Lee, for having me. And I love you and love to Mark. And
Love
this
you
is a great
too.
series. Thanks for what you do for the Art of Cabaret and for, keeping this art of performance, interpreting songs, honoring what's in songs, the storytelling in the song. I really appreciate your advocacy for songwriters like me. And thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
Stay healthy. Bye.
Bye.
Stay safe. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
The sweetest, most beautiful.
She's the
singer,
best.
songwriter.
She's the best. I love her.
Beautiful.
She's so good.
What a
She's
fun
so good.
show.
She's a musical inspiration and just the dearest of friends, and I just love her. So
What a fun show. What
fun, right?
Yes.
I know. Now I have to explain to my mom why we're
At an hour almost.
23 minutes overtime.
We have amazing shows for the rest of the month.
Next week, we have the original Broadway stars of Aladdin, Adam Jacobs and Courtney Reed, and a group that I represent that I adore, that are so much fun, called the Boy Band Project. They're 4 Broadway guys that recreate your favorite boy band harmonies and choreographies, and they have a new music video launching, and they're going to debut it on our show next Thursday.
I love that.
And then the following week, we have the 3 stars of the national tour, the most recent national tour of falsettos, Eden Espinosa, Max Van Essen, and Nick Adams. It's crazy.
Crazy.
I'm so excited.
Eden Espinosa is a god, literally.
She's pretty amazing. They're all amazing.
They all are amazing. What are we doing, Lee? We're in too deep now.
You can't escape. You're stuck.
We're way in too deep now. I'm so excited. I can't wait. This show was brilliant. I mean, voices and singers and songwriters.
I know.
It's just so much fun to get to hear their
Having so
stories.
much fun, right?
So much fun. It's a
Yeah.
blast. So much fun.
Well, have a good week.
Thank you, Lee. You too. I hope you catch the rat. I hope you get good rest. I hope you bake a pie.
If we're talking about the rat next week, there's a problem.
That agreed.
I'm like moving into your house.
For sale. Listen, I have a great air mattress. It was expensive. It was Bed Bath & Beyond. Without the coupon.
That's funny. All right. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Thank you all for watching. We've had a great time. Thank you, Michael Londra and Susan Werner. And always thank you for our frontline responders and the doctors and the nurses. And
keep us safe.
Oh, it's crazy.
And thank you, Lee.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
It's time for Quarantine Cabaret Cocktails with Robert Bannon and Lee Lessick.